Washington Commanders and the Indianapolis Colts. Of course, the big news here is Matt Ryan has been benched permanently in favor of Sam Ehlinger. And here we are, 2.5-3 in favor of the Colts. 39.5 is your total. Yes, guys, this is a theme this week. We got like all these sub 42 totals just across the entire league. It's crazy. So the Colts, 2.5, 3-point favorites over the Commanders, and a game of 39.5. Steven, if we take a look at this, one of the things that was very interesting to me as I dug in a little bit further, and look, Matt Ryan had been terrible. I know he said he was shocked that he got benched, but let's just be for real. The guy was turning the ball over left and right. He was just complete. He's washed. I mean, I thought I was wrong. I thought he wasn't washed. He's washed. It is what it is. They move on. So Sam Ehlinger comes in. The interesting thing about Ehlinger that I guess I just didn't remember because he is a couple of years removed from college is just how mobile he was and just how prone to running the ball he was. He ran for over 2,500 yards in college. And if you extrapolate that out in a per game basis, it's over 40 yards a game rushing for him. Of course, Sam Ehlinger was a preseason hero for this Colts team. If you watched any of the preseason, he went 24 of 29 for 289 yards and 4 touchdowns and no picks in the preseason. I was all ready to jump in and back the Commanders, and I backed off. I'm weirdly interested in what this Colts team might look like with Ehlinger under center, so I didn't play it. What are you doing here in this game?
You guys are not alone. I see Adam in the background strutting the Heisman over there because I think he agrees with you. We'll see in a moment, but you guys are not alone. It's sports betting, Twitter, and the content space has been all over Sam Ehlinger this week.
Oh my God, guys. Breaking news. Yeah. Tom Brady has announced on the Instagram that him and Giselle are divorced.
Oh no.
Oh God. What do we do? What do we do? Guys, what do we do? Oh, play the sad music. I know. Play the sad music.
I'm going to tell you exactly what you do with this. You play New England for everything in your account because Zach Wilson, hearing that Giselle is available, is going to be distracted. That is right in his wheelhouse.
Oh, this is so great.
Oh man.
This is so great. All right. Well, anyway, back to our regular scheduled programming, but holy mackerel, I don't even know what to do. He waits till after the loss to announce this. I mean, come on. Tell us before the game so we can bet against you. Jeez. Have a little decency.
Nothing I can say about Sam Ehlinger is going to top that, but we'll try to get back on track here. This is a 6th round pick, guys, who has no regular season experience with an offensive line that is terrible. And we have seen several examples in recent years. Let's just look at last year. Several examples where the sports betting community has lined up to play a backup quarterback, assuming that they can't be any worse than the starter they're replacing. We saw it with Jacoby Brissett and Tua last year. We saw it with Glennon taking over for Daniel Jones. We saw it with Justin Fields coming in for Andy Dalton. And all of those quarterbacks statistically were worse, much worse than the starter that they replaced. So I would just be careful assuming that Sam Ehlinger, which most people in this country didn't know existed before this week.
Oh, come on.
Automatically be better.
Texas.
It's be better than Matt Ryan.
He's not like it's Malik Willis from Liberty.
Billy Zappi.
Yeah, you're like, Jesus Christ, you went in Texas. What are you talking about?
Now, I got lucky here with Washington +4 earlier in the week. I handicapped it with Matt Ryan. I thought it was a similar handicap to what we saw with Washington last week, taking advantage of a Green Bay Packers offensive line. I admit Heineke got lucky with some turnover-worthy plays a week ago. But if you guys want to line up and back Sam Ehlinger as a favorite, by all means, go right ahead. I'm not going to be one of them, and I'm happy we just got a lucky number here in the Discord.
All righty. So, Adam, I think you and I may be a little bit more on the Colts side of things here. I know you were looking for a certain number, and that number has actually popped at DraftKings right now.
Yeah, and it was pretty obvious it was coming because every 3 on the board was at even money. So eventually that 2.5 was getting there with Indianapolis. I am not going to line up to back Sam Ehlinger. I'm at the front of the line to back Sam Ehlinger. I am charging up the hill. We fight for freedom for Sam Ehlinger. Exactly. That's what we do here. I heard everything Steven just said about lining up to back a backup quarterback. So, sir, let me remind you that you're lining up to back Taylor Heineke on the other side of this. You do not have the starting quarterback. You have Taylor Heineke, who last week managed to put up a turnover-worthy play rate of 14% against the Green Bay Packers. 1 in every 7 plays was turnover-worthy. He was horrible. Taylor Heineke was horrible last week. And I do think we've reached a point where, much like we talk about the Denver offense, for me, we've reached the bottom with Indianapolis. We have reached as bad as this can get because every metric you look at will tell you just how bad the Indianapolis offense has been. But part of that is, 1, Jonathan Taylor hasn't been totally healthy. 2, as you mentioned, the offensive line hasn't been great. But 3, they've stuck by Matt Ryan. And the fact that they're willing to make this move, and if you read the quotes coming out of that locker room this week, the team is not unanimously behind this decision. In fact, a lot of folks don't understand why they made it. But Frank Reich and the upper management here with Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay decided we've got to do something different. And this is a team that has been all in for the last 3-4 years on trying to win. That, to me, speaks to the level to which they understand it wasn't going to get done with Matt Ryan. So I think you see Indianapolis recommit to being a running team in this game. And whether that's with Sam Ehlinger, whether that's with Jonathan Taylor, I think you're going to see a Colts offensive line that is as healthy as it's been this year. I think we start to get some regression back to the mean positively here with Indianapolis against a Washington team that, let's keep in mind, is also terrible. Yes, it was a great spot for them last week, right? Being able to get those points at home was a great spot against Green Bay last week, and I find myself kicking myself for not being in on that. But here against Indianapolis on the road, and with Indianapolis likely going to get, don't call him Darius Leonard, back on the defensive side this week, you're going to see a different looking defense out there for Indy. And frankly, that's been the one thing that's been good. Indy defense by DVOA is number 11. That's not having Darius Leonard, probably the most talented player on that defense, having played at all this year. So I will lay that 2.5 with Indianapolis, with the unknown, the never before heard of, the guy who emerged from the shadows, who no one has ever seen before, who was considered a Heisman Trophy candidate as a freshman at Texas, Sam Ehlinger.